FastCast TV, episode 10 of Westworld, The Bicameral Mind. And Jeremy looked out over his kingdom and wept, for there were no more episodes to watch. The Dolores stuff, which is kind of like the A plot, the Maeve stuff, which is kind of the B plot, in my opinion. The A plot is the story of what's been happening in the park for 35 years, and the B plot is kind of the story of what are the implications of that and where is it trying to go. So we now know, like any of us didn't think at this point, William did in fact become the Man in Black. But the extra little twist of the knife, he does find her, but she's all cleaned up and has no idea who he is because she's a host. And that is what really kicks him over the edge, I think. Of course, the title, The Bicameral Mind, is referring to the Dolores. Arnold, way back when, gave her the instruction to sort of do these unthinkable things like killing him because he explicitly thought it was, I guess, immoral to have these living, sentient creatures that exist to fulfill the fantasies of the guests. But he kind of failed. He had to tell Dolores to do it. So what Ford's new storyline is, have her kill him, Ford, without having to tell her, because she has now achieved that level of consciousness that Arnold started. Basically what the assumption is that Ford has actually been working on Arnold's work this whole time. So that's plot A. The culmination of the 35 years ago, the Man in Black owns the company story, and now the board is all dead story. The B plot is Maeve and her escaping. Samurai world, what? That's pretty cool. Although it is kind of in opposition because find out in this episode that the whole time that Maeve thought she was sort of rewriting her own story, somebody else was rewriting her story. Was it Arnold? Was it Ford? And how does that mess with the whole idea of free will and bicameral consciousness that we just found out about in the Dolores storyline? Season 1 was all about sort of getting some of the pieces in place and getting the pieces off the board that don't need to be there. Season 2 looks like it's going to be all-out civil war. He talks about how his storyline begins in a time of war, and I think that that's the war he's talking about. Actually, one of the other bits that I thought was really great, hosts that have been brought out of cold storage, and they're beginning to sort of descend upon the board meeting. One of them shoots William in the arm, and he gets this look on his face of like pure joy, like, oh my God, this is what I've been waiting for this whole time! He's not dead. Fair portion of the board and investors are dead. Charlotte Hale will definitely be back next season, probably beaten and bloody for her troubles. And then there's the question of Maeve having finally made her own decision, and rather than fully escaping the park, she's turned around to go back and try and find his daughter. Westworld Season 1, I'm heartbroken that we have to wait more than a year to get Season 2, but I cannot wait to watch it. Episode 10, The Bicameral Mind. Solid finale. FastCast. See ya! Hey, thanks for watching the FastCast. If you like what I do here, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can also follow me on Twitter at Mr. J Handle. And remember to check back because I do this a couple times a week. Thanks a lot, everybody. FastCast.